Hey guys, Chris here. I want to talk today about gossiping and how gossiping can be, detrimental to your health and stopping you stepping into your power and really voicing, what you need to voice. There is another door you can take. So imagine if you're going, there's a door of, gossiping, or there's another door. There's actually a solution to it. And the other door is not obviously something that's addictive, but it is very much more empowering. So if someone does something and it annoys you, and then you have to have the sense of telling somebody else about it, just remember that you're avoiding being assertive here. And instead, you're taking the road of, oh, I need to tell this person about it. And it very much puts you into that victim mindset, that victim mentality. And with the self-awareness you start to develop, you will be able to sense that. If people hold space in the right way, normally you'll be telling probably someone who wants to gossip as well. But if you start to have some friends and you feel like you're venting, like when I do, and they sort of hold space for it, you can just hear yourself back and you're like, wow, um, this is, I'm feeling like a victim here. So the way to always resolve the gossip is, if you've got a problem with someone, if someone's turned up late or someone's said something about you that you didn't like in your presence, you need to speak to that person about it. If someone's done something and then say they were late, is it a case of speaking to them and telling them how you feel, or depending on what it is, if I run events, so that's obviously something I would do. And then if someone's doing something where it's being quite disrespectful to you and saying stuff, you can pull that person aside and sort of just let them know how it makes you feel, rather than just thinking, I'm going to bury this feeling, I'm going to vent it out later to my friends. Because sometimes that person could not be aware that they're doing it, and it could be a relationship worth saving. And it's always probably the harder road to take because you fear that conflict. But I recommend that the more you deal with conflict, the easier it will become. I've learned a lot of like kickboxing, Muay Thai, and in that you're kind of in that energy, that sort of aggressive energy, and facing, you're going to get a punch to the face, you're going to get kicked, in the ribs. So it becomes easier to then just walk straight into, if you're walking straight into someone and you're sparring with them, it's like with gossip, with conflict, as you're walking straight into that kind of conversation. And yeah, I mean, for me, being more a leader of a group as well, when I have to speak to people about stuff like that, it is again the feeling of people are not going to respect me. They've disrespected me, and I go and tell them, and they're still going to that is the fear, that or they're going to carry on and do it again. But in my experience, normally when you tell people, they do, and if you can't resolve it, at least you can then cross the next road. If people are going to consistently do that, and you never say anything, and you gossip about them, it just creates the same problem. However, if you tell the person, it will make things easier. I've got friends who sometimes I've never told stuff to, who've annoyed me, but it wasn't until I told them that, they actually started to improve. And then, or if they did it again, it would hurt even more, and then you would then likely take an action. But you always have to do something about it. I think it resides in the throat chakra. Over talking, kind of got this feeling like you're not being heard as well. So I think gossip, again, you want to be facing the person directly. You want to be telling them, if you're talking behind their back, generally speaking, it's probably more a female thing to do. But it's also with men as well. And what I found is that when other men maybe, start gossiping more, is you're probably less likely to trust them as well, because you don't know if they're gossiping about you. And and it's just, again, it's just that I think now it's just someone who will avoid the conflict. Of course, like for me, working as a business owner, I have people who help me out, and sometimes I'll be like, look, I'm having a problem with this person, they did this, did that. And as long as I'm not getting really annoyed and sort of gossiping, we'll be able to come up with some solutions. All right, okay, you seem like, because sometimes we do struggle, and this is a different way to tell to one of your friends, look, this person's done this, I'm not sure what I need to do. that is different than just complaining about it, because normally the gossiping is, it is very much victim, like you're not really looking for the solution. And I think when people gossip, they aren't. But now and again, I think we do need to vent, but ultimately when you're venting, know that you have to find a solution to that. And sometimes you just have to sit with it, feel it, then you speak to the person and it's gone, and then that could all be resolved. It could sometimes be, someone could do something straight away and then you go and speak to them. That's all resolved in 10 seconds, rather than saying, I'm going to phone to my friend later, and it annoys you all day, and then you phone them up and then you talk about it for another half an hour. It's just completely wasted your time, the energy, and then it's disempowering. You don't grow from that experience. So that's my take on gossiping.